This happened to me in August of 2019. I had been staying in my apartment now for a while, and things had been going well. I had just finished buying all the needed furniture and decorations. It was truly starting to look like my own bachelor pad. I thought I'd celebrate this with an apartment warming or, I don't know, whatever thing that you can compare it to that was like a housewarming. Anyways, I celebrated it with a few coworkers and friends. Now, a bit of backstory. I didn't invite all my coworkers. Simply put, because there were some whose names I had no clue of, but the two in my specific department that I didn't invite was because Debbie was a racist prick and a Karen, and Sean, well, Sean was one of the most disturbing individuals I've ever met. At work, he would often stare at female customers and coworkers alike, like a tiger staring at a deer or something. That and the fact that he was very hard to talk to. Like imagine speaking to someone who didn't understand a clue of social cue or political etiquette, and you have Sean. Now, about a week after my party, I recall having a run-in with Sean on why he wasn't invited. I explained to him we weren't even that close, but yet he insisted on his candidacy for an invite. So, not wanting to argue or entertain this nonsense, I simply walked away. Sean then shouted as I exited the office, "I'll get you back, Parker." I paused, then kept going, not wanting to make much of a scene. But about a few days after this event, I was taking out the trash late one night, having worked late, when I got this sinking feeling as if something wasn't right. I couldn't help but constantly glance over my shoulder and look around, staring into the dimly lit complex. As I began to walk back, I thought to myself, I'm just being paranoid, when I heard it. I glanced behind me to see a guy in all black and in a hoodie. I ran. I ran as fast as I could, hearing my pursuer hot on my heels. I almost tripped over a rake which was placed on the walkway that I believe was meant to stop me. When I made it inside, I called 911. After I explained everything to the police, they explained to me that they check my apartment's camera footage tomorrow and to lock up as an officer will be patrolling the area. I thought that this was it, or this was the end of this little story, but while explaining to some coworkers what happened, I noticed Sean paying extra attention to our little chat. I had my suspicions about him, and thus I intentionally changed a detail about the story, namely, the one where I almost tripped over a shovel instead of a rake. Almost on cue, Sean said, "I thought it was a rake you tripped over." Shocked, I said, "And how would you know?" At this point, I thought I had him, but the little pest was quick on his feet and said, "I heard you tell this earlier, and you said it was a rake." Tell this earlier. Seeing my obvious suspicion, my other coworkers gradually moved our convo away from Sean. To this day, the suspect was not caught, and Sean continues to be his creepy self. So if you ever happen to hear this, Sean, next time you try something like that, I'll be ready for you. I'm a 25-year-old female, and this story occurred in 2017 when I stayed in Arizona. I was in college at the time and had been in my apartment for 2 years. My friend and I really enjoyed it until our new neighbors moved in. The one on top of ours, of course. Everything seemed to be fine for a while until one day the yelling started. He would yell and call her all out of her name, and then one day I believe we heard him slap the woman. As she hit the floor, my friend dialed 911, and the police soon arrived. Of course, the man claimed he did nothing, and the woman's obvious dark spot on her face proved otherwise. Me and my friend explained what we heard, and the officers took our statements, and the man was then placed in custody. The woman thanked us, and honestly, I wish this was the end of the story. But however, about 2 weeks later, around 1 or sometime early that morning, I was awakened to hear, followed by a blood-curdling scream. Again, my friend dialed 911, and as I listened further, the woman was clearly struggling as it was a loud commotion. I heard him hit her twice, followed by his scream. Then, I heard it. After that, a loud thump. As sirens began getting louder, I heard footsteps hastily exiting the building. The police got to the grisly scene too late. Our neighbor was dead. Her killer escaped, and we believe he fled to Mexico, as he was never caught. It haunts me to this day what happened, and I just wish that maybe we could have done more for her. But to the guy that did this, I sincerely hope you rot in hell.